I want you to picture something familiar. It's early morning, your eyes are still heavy, and without thinking too much, you head straight for that drink you've been enjoying for years. The smell is inviting, the warmth is comforting, and that first sip feels almost like a small ceremony that sets your day in motion. It's a ritual millions of Americans repeat every single morning, at work meetings, during a commute, or even in the middle of a busy afternoon. But here's the part that doesn't get talked about often. This everyday pleasure may not be as harmless as it seems, at least not for certain parts of your health. While this drink is loved for its taste and its ability to wake us up, research shows it may also be quietly affecting urinary comfort and prostate health in ways most people never realize. Now, this isn't about fear. It's about awareness, giving you the knowledge to enjoy life without paying an invisible price for habits you thought were harmless. And here's something worth holding on to. By the time we're done, I'll be sharing a bonus tip. A simple, natural strategy you can apply at home to help keep your prostate healthier and your urinary comfort in check. Something surprisingly easy, yet often ignored. The truth is, your body is more sensitive than you might think. Inside that cup are compounds that can irritate the delicate tissues of the urinary tract. It doesn't happen to everyone in the same way, but for many, it begins subtly. Maybe you notice you're heading to the bathroom more often, or there's a faint discomfort that comes and goes. You might dismiss it as stress, age, or simply drinking more water. But over time, these small signs can become more consistent. What's fascinating, and a little concerning, is how these effects build up. Some of the natural acids in this drink can alter the pH balance of your urine, making it more irritating to the bladder. Add to that caffeine's role as a diuretic, increasing urine production and stimulating the bladder muscle, and you have a combination that can quietly strain this part of your body day after day. It's not about quitting entirely. In fact, completely avoiding it might not be necessary at all. The real key is knowing how to prepare it in a way that reduces its irritating elements and how to balance your consumption so it works with your body instead of against it. That's where small adjustments can make a big difference, without sacrificing the comfort and joy of that first morning sip. The point is this: prostate and urinary health don't just matter later in life. Every choice you make now, even about something as small as what's in your cup, has a ripple effect. Taking a preventive approach means you get to protect your health without feeling like you're missing out on life. And it starts with understanding what's really going on in your daily habits. Soon, we're going to explore what makes this drink so tricky for some people and why even moderate consumption can be a problem under certain circumstances. The next insight is one of the most valuable. Ignoring it won't just slow your progress. It could allow small but persistent effects to continue building quietly in the background, where they're harder to notice until it's too late to make simple changes. Now that we've opened the door to understanding how a beloved daily drink can influence prostate and urinary health, it's time to uncover what actually makes it such a quiet disruptor. On the surface, it's just a beverage. But inside, it's a chemical cocktail. Natural, yes, but still capable of triggering reactions in the body that you might not expect. One of the main players is caffeine. People often think of it purely as an energy booster, but for your urinary system, it can be a double-edged sword. Caffeine stimulates the bladder muscle, making it more active and more prone to sending "it's time to go" signals. It also increases the amount of urine your body produces, which may sound harmless but can add up over the course of a day. For someone already prone to urinary frequency or urgency, this can mean more trips to the bathroom, sometimes disrupting work, sleep, and daily comfort. Then there's the acidity. The natural acids in this drink, such as chlorogenic acid, can lower the pH of urine. This creates an environment that's more irritating to the lining of the urinary tract. If you already have any mild inflammation or sensitivity in the prostate or bladder, this acidic shift can intensify that discomfort. In a healthy body, this might just feel like a minor annoyance, but for those with even subtle existing irritation, it can tip the balance toward persistent symptoms. For some people, the problem isn't even about the amount they drink in a day. Instead, it's about how it's prepared. Brewing methods that extract more oils and acids can make the final drink harsher on the urinary system. High temperatures, prolonged brewing times, and certain types of filters can all influence the chemical profile of what ends up in your cup. Two people could drink the same volume each day, but if one uses a preparation method that maximizes irritating compounds, their body will feel the effects more strongly. And here's where it gets interesting. It's not just about avoiding irritation, it's also about supporting resilience. The same habit that can cause discomfort can often be adjusted in ways that allow you to keep enjoying it while protecting your body. Choosing lower acid varieties, controlling brewing temperature, or diluting the beverage with a neutral liquid can all make a meaningful difference. Why does this matter so much? Because small, daily irritations may not sound serious, but over the years, they can contribute to a pattern your body struggles to reverse. In men, that pattern can intersect with natural age-related changes in the prostate, leading to more noticeable symptoms. The earlier you address the source, the easier it is to maintain both comfort and long-term health. The good news is that you don't have to give up the things you enjoy. You just need to enjoy them more wisely. This isn't about restriction, it's about refinement. And as we move forward, we're going to get into the most impactful adjustments you can make. Skipping the next insight wouldn't just mean missing out on better results. It could mean allowing subtle, unwanted effects to keep building quietly over time when they could be prevented with a few simple changes. There's something most people do when their body sends small warning signs. They wave them away. A twinge here, a bit of discomfort there. Maybe you blame it on a bad night's sleep, on stress, or simply on getting older. But the truth is, those small changes often have a story to tell, and ignoring them can quietly shape the way your health unfolds over time. When it comes to prostate and urinary health, the body tends to whisper before it shouts. One of the earliest whispers can be a subtle shift in urinary patterns. You might notice you're waking up once during the night to use the bathroom when you never used to. Or perhaps you feel the urge to go even when your bladder isn't completely full. For many men, there's also a faint burning sensation that comes and goes, or a feeling of pressure low in the pelvis that seems too minor to mention to a doctor. The problem is that we normalize these signs far too quickly. In our fast-paced lives, they become background noise, just another quirk of aging or a side effect of being busy. But when these patterns are linked to something you consume every single day, like that popular drink we've been talking about, they're not just normal. They're your body's way of telling you it's time for a change. Science backs this up. Studies on urinary tract and prostate health have shown that irritation, even mild, can influence tissue over time. While a single cup won't cause lasting harm, repeated exposure to irritants like caffeine, acids, and certain oils can contribute to low-grade inflammation. The tricky part is that inflammation doesn't always feel dramatic. It can simmer quietly for months or years. Lifestyle factors can amplify the effect. If you spend much of your day sitting, especially with poor posture, the pelvic area gets less circulation. Pair that with a habit that encourages frequent urination and bladder stimulation, and you create a loop. More irritation, more urgency, less rest for the tissues to recover. It's not just the drink itself, it's the way it interacts with your habits. This is why early recognition is powerful. The sooner you identify patterns and connect them to your daily choices, the sooner you can reverse them. Small actions, like adjusting your drink strength, switching to lower acid varieties, or pairing it with hydrating anti-inflammatory foods, can bring noticeable relief in just weeks. Even gentle pelvic stretches and walking breaks during the day help support circulation and reduce pressure. It's not about chasing perfection. It's about paying attention to your body's language before it becomes a more urgent conversation. Making these small, intentional changes is far easier than trying to undo years of compounded irritation. And the best part? You can still enjoy the things you love, but in a way that works for your health instead of against it. The next insight is going to be one of the most important. Skipping it wouldn't just mean getting slower results. It could also allow those quiet background effects to build over time, making them harder to reverse later. By now, the pattern is clear. It's not just what you consume, but how you consume it that shapes its impact on your body. And when it comes to this particular drink, science has revealed some surprising details about the long-term effects of overexposure to certain compounds it contains. Research into bladder and prostate health shows that repeated irritation can set the stage for chronic sensitivity. This doesn't happen overnight. It's a gradual process. Think of it like a path in the grass. Walk over it once and the blades bounce back, but tread on it every day, and eventually the grass stays flat, the soil compacted. In your body, that path is the tissue of your urinary tract and prostate, adapting to constant stimulation until its natural balance changes. One of the ways this happens is through the interplay of acidity and nerve sensitivity. The acidic compounds in the drink can lower urinary pH, which in turn stimulates nerve endings in the bladder and urethra. Over time, these nerves may become more reactive, meaning they send stronger urge signals even when your bladder isn't full. That's why some men find themselves making more bathroom trips than they used to, even if their overall fluid intake hasn't changed much. But here's the detail most people miss. It's not only the total amount you drink in a day, but also how you space it out. Sipping throughout the day keeps the urinary system under constant stimulation, preventing tissues from getting a full rest period. In contrast, having a smaller amount in one sitting and giving your body hours to recover can significantly reduce irritation. Brewing method matters too. Studies show that higher water temperatures and longer brewing times extract more acids and oils, both of which can contribute to irritation. Using cooler water, shorter brewing cycles, or paper filters can lower the amount of these compounds in your cup. For some, simply making this switch is enough to reduce urinary symptoms without cutting back on total consumption. Another factor to consider is what else you pair with the drink. Certain foods rich in antioxidants, like berries, leafy greens, or nuts, can help counteract some of the oxidative stress that irritation causes. Staying well hydrated with neutral pH-balanced water helps dilute acids and flush irritants more efficiently. The result isn't just less discomfort, it's also a healthier environment for long-term prostate function. The encouraging part is that these changes don't require giving up the drink entirely. They simply require awareness and a willingness to experiment with preparation and timing. Once you find your personal balance, you can keep the comfort of your daily ritual while supporting your body's needs. The next insight is going to be one of the most important. Overlooking it wouldn't just slow your progress. It could allow subtle but persistent effects to keep developing quietly over time, making them more difficult to reverse. By now, it's clear that the drink we've been exploring is neither purely a villain nor an entirely harmless pleasure. Like many things in life, it's all about the balance you strike and the choices you make in how you consume it. And that's where small, intelligent adjustments can completely shift the way your body responds. One of the most powerful steps is choosing the right variety. Not all beans or blends are created equal. Certain types naturally contain lower acidity levels, which means they're less likely to irritate the urinary tract. Many people find that switching to a low-acid option reduces symptoms without changing the overall enjoyment of the drink. This is especially true for those who are sensitive to acidic foods in general. Preparation techniques also make a big difference. Cold brewing, for example, tends to extract fewer acidic compounds compared to traditional hot brewing methods. If you still prefer a warm cup, you can brew it cold overnight and gently warm it before drinking. This way, you get the comforting heat without the full acidic load. Choosing paper filters instead of metal mesh can also trap certain oils that might contribute to irritation. Then there's portion control, which isn't about deprivation, but about finding your body's comfort zone. Many men assume that as long as they stay under a certain safe number of cups, they're fine. But your individual tolerance might be different from someone else's. Paying attention to how your body feels within hours after drinking can help you discover your personal limit. It might be one smaller cup instead of two large ones, or enjoying it only a few days a week rather than daily. Pairing matters too. Consuming the drink alongside foods rich in healthy fats and antioxidants can buffer its impact. A handful of almonds, some avocado on toast, or berries on the side can offer protective compounds that reduce oxidative stress. And of course, staying hydrated with plain water throughout the day dilutes urinary acids and helps flush them out more efficiently. But perhaps the most underrated adjustment is timing. Enjoying your drink earlier in the day not only prevents late-night bathroom trips, but also gives your urinary system more time to rest before you go to sleep. This improves both comfort and quality of rest, creating a cycle where your body can recover better overnight. The beauty of these changes is that they don't take away the enjoyment of your daily ritual. Instead, they transform it into something that supports your well-being rather than working against it. Once you start applying these tweaks, you may notice improvements not only in urinary comfort, but also in overall energy, focus, and even mood. The next insight is going to be one of the most important. Missing it won't just mean missing out on better results. It could also mean allowing subtle but preventable effects to keep developing quietly over time, making them harder to address in the future. We've reached the point where the most valuable takeaway comes into focus. It's the step that ties together everything we've talked about, the preparation, the variety, the timing, and turns it into a long-term habit that actively supports your prostate and urinary health. The real key lies in mastering both the method of preparation and a small, natural addition that can make all the difference. When you prepare your drink, aim for a method that minimizes acidity and irritants, cooler water temperatures, shorter brewing times, and paper filters. But here's the bonus tip I promised earlier, a simple, natural boost you can incorporate easily. Adding a small pinch of finely ground cinnamon or a sprinkle of turmeric to your drink can provide anti-inflammatory benefits. Both are well studied for their antioxidant properties, and in small amounts, they can help balance the body's response to the drink's natural acids and caffeine. These additions aren't just about reducing irritation. They also support overall wellness by helping regulate blood sugar levels, improving circulation, and providing compounds that protect tissues from oxidative stress. It's a way of turning something you enjoy into something that actively contributes to your health. Beyond the cup, the principle is the same: mindful consumption. It's not about living in fear of your favorite drink. It's about making it work for you instead of against you. That means checking in with your body regularly, staying aware of small changes, and adjusting your habits when needed. If you notice symptoms like increased urgency, discomfort, or disrupted sleep, those are signals worth listening to. The most empowering part of this approach is that you stay in control. You don't have to rely on drastic changes or give up traditions that bring you comfort. Instead, you turn them into tools for better health. This shift from unconscious habit to conscious choice can ripple into other areas of your life, encouraging healthier decisions across the board. So here's the message to carry forward. Your daily rituals are powerful. With a few intentional changes, they can become allies in your long-term well-being. And when it comes to your prostate and urinary comfort, small, consistent actions often lead to the biggest rewards. If you put what you've learned into practice, you're not just avoiding discomfort, you're actively building a healthier future for yourself. The knowledge you've gained here is a form of prevention, and prevention is always more powerful than correction. Now that you know the complete picture, remember this: the choices you make today will shape the comfort, energy, and vitality you enjoy tomorrow. Applying these insights isn't just about avoiding a problem. It's about living in a way that allows you to feel your best every day.